This is Ryan Edner with your Tuesday, September 10th morning wake-up call. Yesterday's biggest news from the Monday report was likely seeing that bean good to excellent did not fall. It stayed unchanged at 65%. Trade hadn't been anticipating a 1% setback, and that 1% setback helps support the idea that yield would be left unchanged on Thursday's report. So now seeing the good to excellent remain unchanged when seasonally it normally falls, you may see a few people in trade start thinking instead of a steady yield on Thursday's report that maybe it'll be increased just slightly. So that is putting some light pressure on the overnight beans. On the flip side of beans, we have been seeing regular 8 a.m. sales. Last week's weekly sales at 1528 were still plenty strong. It was a slowdown from the previous week, but there's nothing wrong with a number like that this time of year for the beans here. The one other issue that's been mentioned that we would hold off getting too excited about is the dryness in Brazil. It's a little early to talk dryness in Brazil, especially considering this is their dry season. And they usually get an influx of monsoon rains, and those typically don't start until October. So if we're looking at Brazil conditions, we don't want to judge them too quickly. We would pay much more attention after we get into the month of October. Over in corn, the news was pretty much as expected. The good to excellent rating did drop 1% there to 64%. So that does keep trade on the thought process of yield being unchanged, or the analysts are actually looking for a small yield decline on Thursday. So we'll see if we get that. Current price of December corn around the 405 level does assume that we at least keep yield unchanged, if not see a small decline on Thursday. Over in wheat, the main thing to focus on here is that we won't be focusing on Thursday's report. There's not a lot of changes expected for that market. So the weekly export sales Thursday morning could have a larger influence. We have seen exports pick up enough that has separated our wheat from following overseas moves lately. So for the wheat market, the most important thing on Thursday will likely be Thursday morning's weekly sales. Over in cattle, we have another setup for a higher cash trade. The question is if we can find one. A national show list down 7,000. Choice was box beef yesterday down 89 cents, select up 237. Now, a combination of last week trading cash lower while box beef was on a small bounce puts packer profits up near $12. The high for the entire year in packer profits this year has been $14. So once again, we would say that the fundamentals are all set up for a higher cash trade. So it comes right down to the most important question like last week. Will those with the cattle hold out for higher potential bids? It's likely cash or packer bids will start quite low today. So it's all about whether, again, those with the cattle hold out till later in the week and look for those bids to move up. The fundamentals suggest that if most cattle guys do that, they should be seeing a higher cash trade this week. So we'll keep eyes and ears open today to see if there are any cash trades, but for a higher move, most will want to wait to see cash bids and trades not reported until later in the week. So that's what we have here for your Tuesday morning. If you have any questions, you can give me a call direct at 815-578-6159 and continue listening to our Tuesday and every morning wake-up calls.